Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 468 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded April 20th, 2026.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right, which is always better than the left.
Exactly. All right, that brings us to our favorite segment of the show. What are we drinking? Pierre, what are you drinking? And something that you've done off of Patriot Challenge.
As per usual, I've got my big glass of Forty Creek, drinking it straight, trying to cut back on the Pepsis because a lot of sugar in it, not great for you. I think straight whiskey would be better than whiskey and Pepsi. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, neither
no,
one are
that,
good, but if you're gonna
yeah,
do
but
one bad thing, do it right.
exactly. Like
Yeah,
you've eliminated one bad thing, so that's
yeah,
better.
yeah.
That logic tracks.
Which means I compensated the bad stuff of that's normally Pepsi to just
Eh,
straight whiskey.
it's
But
fine.
Um, Patriot Challenge, obviously always drinking the waters. As we were discussing prior to the show, getting into back into the audibles. Um, uh, Actually, we've had a few things accumulate just because there were some like really good podcasts that came out, other than the one we're on that I don't listen to because I was part of it. And it's just weird.
Yeah.
But so I haven't done the audibles, but I've been very big on many different podcasts. There's like four or five I cycle through, and then backed up a little bit because I had listened to a few audibles as we discussed about a book I hadn't done. But Audible is right now like, oh, get 3 credits, and like you can get like, I mean, I've already paid for the credits, but like they'll give me more money. So I just downloaded 4 more books that I've been interested for a little bit. So gonna try and wrap up the podcast backlog of good things I want to listen to and get back into whatever, and also working on hopefully the plan for future endeavors in the upcoming weeks. Maybe a little bit more time away from home. So yeah, good audible books that'll make me think, doing better. Trying to, well, staying on top of water, food rotation, trying to get the good foods in and cut out the bad foods because gooder food is better for you than badder foods.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
experimenting with foods. So far we haven't done anything too bad. Some of them have just been mess. Some of them are really good, which we'll talk about maybe later. Um, and yeah, that's about it. Just doing the family thing.
Nice.
What
Well,
about
that's
you?
good. I am drinking some Molson Canadian Tall Boys this evening, embracing my,
Canadian.
Canadian backgroundness with my unapologetically Canadian t-shirt from Caliber magazine, I believe, back in the day.
Yep. Real soon, that'll taste like matcha tea
Yeah,
for it to be Canadian.
yeah. Patriot Challenge stuff. So, over the weekend, I was out with my, well, not my search and rescue team, but our partner search and rescue team, doing some search and rescue training in the cold and the rain and all of that. So,
Snow? Did you guys get snow?
luckily, not really. Just a ton of rain, although it did like some flurries on Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saturday was actually, all things considered, not too cold. Like at least while we were out there, I think it sort of hovered around like 15 degrees. But
It was
because
like,
like we were soaking wet, like you get cold because there was a bit of a
yeah.
wind.
Yeah, like
Um,
it was like 25 or 20. Yeah, it was like 25 here with sun all day Saturday. I was sweating fucking bullets.
yeah,
Ugh.
like yeah, the day before, like the few days prior to that were just like beautiful, other than like some scattered showers here and there. Um, But yeah, just getting out there and like we were on somebody's farm, and it was just like at one point we were like fording streams that are like 2 feet deep. There was a couple of new recruits that were out there that have like I don't think ever been in the forest at night, let alone like in bad weather and having to like so I think they were considering like why did I sign up for this? But
Yeah, that'll happen.
yeah. So it was a good time, but yes, it was definitely like good for practicing skills and then the whole, just like embracing the suck of the terrible weather and having to be out there, but
Yep.
like that's part of the gig, right? Like people don't go missing all that often when it's nice and sunny and all of that out. It's like in the shit weather. So like there I was in the shit weather. But yeah, luckily no snow, just a ton of rain. But at least like it kind of stopped. I don't know, I got there about 4:30 and then it rained straight through until like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or so. And then we were done
And
around 10:30. So like luckily at least because of the wind, my pants dried. So that was nice. And because I planned
excuse me.
ahead and all of that, like I have in my truck in the back, I have always like a couple of dehydrated meals and my little camp stove and some water. So like at least I was
Y-
able to make a hot meal while I was out
Yeah,
there, which certainly helped.
yeah.
So yeah, all of
Uh,
that fun
and
stuff.
and other people testing their TMU Gore-Tex gear. How did that
Yeah,
look
there's
for them?
some of the new people were like they definitely had some learning lessons where like I mean I've been doing this for God like 7 years or something like that now. And just like all the other outdoorsy stuff. So like I always have a change of clothing because I know
Yeah,
that like
absolutely. In
even
the
if I'm not
vehicle.
soaked in rain, like I've probably been sweating because we've been hiking around the woods like
Yep.
and it's not like on paths. It's like you're clearing your own path through the brush because we're pretending like we're looking for somebody.
Yep.
So yeah, you get
Yeah.
sweaty, you get dirty and smelly, and you like on the way home, you're like, I just want like clean, dry socks and dry pants and a shirt, and like
Yeah.
I'll be fine. So yeah,
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
not. And yeah, some of them had definitely
Yeah.
they bought waterproof jackets,
But
but
not pants.
well, but like waterproof is sort of subjective. Like it all depends on how much water has
Mhm.
actually come down. So
Yeah. Is it water repellent or waterproof? Because those are two different things, right? Like,
yeah. And
yeah.
after like
And
so much rain, it just like even if it is waterproof, it's not.
yeah. Well,
Or you've
it
started sweating on the inside because it
yeah.
really is waterproof because it's like
Yeah.
rubber,
Like
but then it's not
I've got one of
breathable.
those really good Dakota
Yeah.
outfits, like the bibs. They come up to here. Well, it's like wearing rubber boots. Like nothing's getting in, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, you put all that on. Like, okay, fine. My face is exposed, so if I can mitigate where the water, my shirt might get wet or whatever. But yeah, oh, go truck through the woods. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I'm not wet from rain, but I'm wet
But
from myself
yeah,
because that shit does
it's
not breathe
which is just as
at
bad.
all.
Like, yeah, it's just as bad.
Yeah, I'd rather be wet. It smells better. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. All that fun stuff. So
well, nice. Got to
yeah.
get through some stuff and replenish at least one meal
Yeah,
and
exactly.
in
Yeah.
the back of the vehicle.
Doing the waters and the reading. I've actually been tracking my water for the last several weeks. I think I've been like at least 2 liters, but probably closer to three every day for the last 4 weeks. So I'm like super hydrated, which feels
Yep,
amazing. And
yep,
keeping up with all of my stretching, which definitely helped in the woods when hiking up these steep hills that are slippery. I wasn't as
yeah,
sore. So that's been
yeah.
paying off, which is good. But yeah, did the reading. I'm on the book right now. I'm trying to pull up the title so that I don't mess it up. Um, 22 Murders Investigating the Massacres, Cover Up,
Ooh,
and Obstacles to Justice in Nova Scotia.
how is it? Because I know you said you started listening to it, but you've got more into it yet.
It
Like,
it's very well written, and
yeah,
it lays out things in a way that like it answers a lot of questions that like
yeah,
kind of popped up, and it's like what the
Because
fuck, right? Like when this is all coming out and we're hearing
yeah,
this and hearing that, and like you don't know what's
because
going on, and there was a lot of holes in the official story, and they're sort of filling in some of those gaps where they can.
so did you listen to the 13 hours?
No,
Trust
I
me,
need I need to.
the the 13 hours. It was a CBC podcast,
Yeah,
which we all know how that is. But I listened to it.
I
I'm
heard
not
it
gonna
was really
take it.
good.
It it I did find it very unbiased for a CBC supported thing.
Yeah,
It
which
was
is
very good.
shocking.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it was very shocking. They were talking a lot of facts and oh yeah, no, look, all these guns he smuggled from the US and he had a buddy there and he would go across and then all these covers like I found it very unbiased and very controversial to a lot of what CBC represents, especially
yeah,
talking about Canadian news. I did like it. Um I did do it while like doing laundry or doing stuff around the house, daughter and wife aren't around, put the headphones on or Bluetooth in, and I'm like, I listened to it, and I was like, I do want to re-listen to it, so that's why I was curious if you had listened to it, because if they're too much of a crossover, I'm going to be uninterested very quickly.
no, this is I would say like this is something like 13 hours long or whatever. So like I've been doing it for the last several days and I'm only still like scratching the surface of it. But he goes like talking to witnesses and getting witness statements and like RCMP statements and all like he's gone through and taken all of the source material and compiled it into one
Okay,
long narrative.
okay, because that's not bad. Because the 13-hour podcast I'm talking about, he does talk to a bunch of witnesses, and like you get
Yeah,
little snippets, and then like a breakdown of the whole conversation or whatever. So yeah, I mean, when you're done that, you have time if you can listen to it too, and
did.
then yeah,
No,
but
I would
yeah,
yeah, I just saw that this was kind of out there and so I was like, "Oh, I'd really like to do this one because like
but before it gets banned,
yeah, it it certainly does not paint a great picture of that RCMP
oh
and rightly so because there's a lot in this. Like I mean, one of the things that I found interesting when I was going through this and like it relates but it doesn't relate. So the RCMP and the military, when you have somebody, especially somebody that's higher up or has been with them a while, and they kind of get moved from one location to another across the country, they contract that service out to a private company to help facilitate the like finding of a new
moving,
place and
yeah,
moving and like all of the logistics of that, right? Which makes sense.
hmm
But the company that does that is Brookfield or a Brookfield company. They've since changed their name to something else, but it's still owned by Brookfield.
yeah,
So it's kind of interesting that like, you get these businesses that are owned, and like there's some weird ties here and like certain names kind of, like keep popping
yeah,
up in all of this.
yeah,
So it's
yeah, and we're not bashing
interesting.
the utility of that business because I
Yeah.
have family that is RCMP. And
Yeah.
when they were like, "Hey, you need to move across country. It's
Yeah.
your job." Like that,
Like,
it should be a fairly easy process, right? It's
yeah,
not
no, and like I'm
whatever.
not
So
saying that like that
they should go
there's something
away.
nefarious here going on. It's just interesting though that like certain
Yeah,
names keep popping up, and the book does a pretty good job of like showing that like it's not the individual officers that are the problem. It's the
yeah,
organization, right? Like an organization is only as good as the people, but like when you have the
yeah,
organizational structure and all of that that is totally just defunct and corrupt and everything, like the frontline
yeah,
officers are the ones that end up getting like the shit end of the stick, but it's not their
yeah,
fault. It's
yeah,
just that's the organization as a whole is just not organized properly, and it's at an institutional level.
yeah. And
So
it's no, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but
no,
it always ends up of like who's the butt kisser, who's the
yeah,
yes man. You've already got the people that are set in their ways at an incorporation or a company where a lot of people don't like to be challenged on things, right? They would
well,
prefer
exactly,
someone to
right? Like
just
it's
agree, where a lot of people would do a lot better just being like, hey, like. you put this policy in, and like I've tested this policy, and I'm like, I don't think it's working right. I think this would work better. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm just saying like what you suggested has failed. I think this would work. Either mine is right. I've already established yours is wrong. Maybe it's in the middle. Maybe it's like way off where I didn't think about. But like
Yeah.
all these things, right? And like I find that a lot of big companies and corporations, not even
Oh
just
yeah.
government entities, but like it's even worse than government if you ask me. But like, right there's so much of a disconnect where that like everybody gets tunnel vision when they
Yeah.
get to a certain point where
Well, and
anybody that objects to something
that's kind of what
causes
they
it.
get into with it, and they're trying to show like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
there's a lot of just protecting of the organization for the
yeah,
sake of protecting the organization when that shouldn't be the case. So,
yeah. Like last time I checked, you and me can't just go pop caps at the local firehouse and
no,
then drive
as much
away
as we would
and
love
it be
to.
good.
Yeah.
Right? And then nobody get penalized or questioned about it. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, all right, but yeah, no, happy it's a good book. I kind of wish I would have saved at least one thing to download so that I could get that Audible.
Well,
But
that's all right. Next time.
yeah, yeah, like give me feedback once you get more into it. Make sure it keeps going that way. I'd be very interested
Yeah.
in it.
No, absolutely. I will keep you posted on that one. All right, now. Upcoming events. The CCFR rally in Waterloo region is coming up this Friday. Check their Facebook page for the details on it, but I believe it is in front of the Cambridge City Hall from 4 to 7 p.m. on Friday. I will be there,
Nice.
so it will be
I
fun.
I won't. It's very
It's a bit of a
far, and in
trek.
case
Yeah, it's a bit
if
of a
you haven't
trek.
looked at
Yeah.
gas prices, I'm not made of money. Um, I would like to be, but I'm not. But I will be there in spirit through Gavin. He will keep me posted on everything. And if you need anything, let Gavin know. He'll send me a message and I'll reply back. But I will be there in spirit, 100%.
Excellent. The
Oh,
news. Yeah.
yes.
I guess last week there was the by-elections. We all know at this point how they turned out. For those that have been living under a rock, it did not go in our favor. Uh,
Eyes.
According to the headlines, Carney clinches a majority government with three Liberal by-election wins, which is sort of true, but also not entirely. It wasn't the wins that
That
did
put him
it.
over. It was the people crossing.
It was the floor crossers that did it because I believe all three of those ridings were already like liberal ridings to begin with. They were just up for debate because the people had stepped down, or in the one instance, there was where they won by one singular vote. So they were just trying to make sure that that was fixed because, yeah, they found a bunch of ballots that had not been counted.
Yeah. So he, I mean, technically, if he had lost those, so what's the seat count? They have a majority by how many?
I think they have a majority by like two or three seats now. So like enough that if
All
someone
right.
doesn't show up, they will still pass it. But if like three or four people don't show up, it could be a stalemate.
Okay, so I mean, technically, if they would have lost all three ridings for whatever reasons, they wouldn't have a majority, but
Yeah.
they'd also be one off.
Yeah.
Like, so, um, I mean, I don't know. I just have so many more questions, right? Like the political debate came up at my parents' place, and then my dad, who's a lot
Yeah.
older, you know, oh, and whatever. And I'm just like, my brother's talking. I'm just like, okay, we need to drop this because I was like, we're gonna get into like a family argument where I'm not gonna be invited to supper anymore because my parents have different political views in most cases. I was like, I am way more open about many things and like very conservative about things and not so much about like, religious, but I'm just like, no, like if someone kicks my door in, I would prefer being able to like not even think twice and shooting them
Yeah.
than like hiding and calling 911. Where my parents are not anti-gun, but like they were just like, we don't
Yeah.
have guns, and they're like, oh, you want to go shoot deer? Like 100%, you should be able to do that. But they were like, self-defense, they don't think it should be a thing and all that. So I'm like, let's keep all this out of everything,
Yeah.
right? Because it's gonna get heated. But um, yeah, it was just like that generational divide, right? Like me and my brother, right? Joe Rogan podcast for Pierre Poilievre. We've had that discussion on our chat where I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish it would have went more, but I was like, everything that was on there, I was like, what he stands and what he said, which I never heard in any of the debates that he was talking about during the election prior to being the president, prime minister race or whatever. I was just like, my brother was just like, how did he lose? I was like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
I think most people would agree with it, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
they,
it's boomers, man, and like just the
uh,
people that just, I don't know, people that don't get it, I think came out en masse and voted. And I think they were duped. I mean, like Carney was supposed to be the guy to go after Trump. When did that happen? We've yet to see that. He was going to fast track
yeah,
all of these projects. We've yet to see
yeah,
that. And so
yeah,
like now he has a majority, and this is like bullshit that he's going around being like,
and
I did it. This is what the people wanted when it's not.
yeah,
Because again, like so the three seats that were up, they already had two of them.
yeah,
So they
and
they won the one that they didn't have before. But
which one?
if it was only if no one had crossed the aisle and
Yeah,
they had won all three, they still would have had a minority government. So it
yeah,
is not that. It just happens that the election is the thing to have happened last. So that
yeah.
people are
So
making it
like that's what we're gonna report on.
appear as if it is a democratic thing when it's not. This is not how democracy works. You don't get a
No,
majority government, or at least you shouldn't get one.
no, not based on that. So
Yeah.
every person that has crossed the floor,
Yeah.
every single one of those ridings, in my opinion, should have went back to the polls because
Yeah. Just
whether I
show
agree or
you want it to be
disagree, like
democratic. That's how that
yeah,
works.
so I whether I 100% agree with my conservative leader or not, I did not want a liberal person to get in. So I'm going to vote
Yeah.
a certain way. And whether the person I voted for or not wins, um, but the person that did win, if they decide, hey, I want to switch parties, okay,
Yeah.
kick it back
Oh,
because I may not have voted for you as a person because I understand politics in Canada,
yeah.
where first past the post, where you're gonna toe the political line, um, all these things where you say you're gonna fucking support anything I do or whatever, but we're not gonna get whatever. There's still no running water on most reserves. All those political promises from the liberal government, conservative going prior to that, have never been delivered. So I'm like, I'm gonna follow on what my moral compass decides that I'm going to vote for this party because I would prefer the good or evil compared to all the other ones. So if I voted for this person, I put that person in under this political banner. The second that person switches political banners, it should go back to that writing and just be like, fine, that person is still absolutely
Yeah.
on that poll. Like you can still vote for that
Yeah.
person, and if they vote for him under a different political
Yeah.
banner, they stayed, no questions asked. But when they're riding, out here,
Yeah.
very conservative, mostly blue. If my blue person went to red, hey, I want to revote. Fine, you can stay
Yeah.
red. Who's the next blue person we can put in?
Yeah.
And then I,
Absolutely.
I'll,
And that was the problem with Gladue or whatever her name is that just crossed recently, right? Like
yep,
her riding has been a conservative riding for like years upon years upon years, and now all of a sudden she's like, and I'm liberal.
I'm, yeah, I'm a
Like
liberal, and
that.
it's just like,
No, that's not how our
are,
like. Unfortunately, that is how our system works, but that's
yeah,
not how our system should work. Like that is
right, like,
not fair.
uh,
That is not democracy. That's bullshit.
right, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, the responsibility of a politician is to represent their constituents, which is how it's advertised to everybody. So whether the person that is elected agrees or disagree with whatever is brought forward,
Yeah.
you name the law. Don't care whether that person personally and morally agrees or disagree, they are there to represent myself and you because we live in the
Uh,
same town. And
uh,
we say yes, even though they personally say no. It should be their duty to say, even though I may disagree with this, the people I represent want to vote yes on this. And that should
uh,
be the end of the conversation.
uh,
But that's never a thing here. And this is why we drink on Mondays.
yes. Another interesting that came out from all of this, it seems, apparently the Bloc Québécois is filing a complaint with Elections Canada after the industry minister Melanie Joly. Interesting again, we were talking about names that just keep popping up. Her name seems to
Mm,
keep popping up. Um,
allegedly.
yeah, she is not from this riding, and allegedly she was seen loitering around a polling station, was asked to leave by staff during the by-election. So as a result of this, the Bloc will be filing a complaint with Elections Canada. So we will see how this goes, because this was again the very much so debated riding of Terrebonne or whatever, where they like won by one single vote,
Yeah.
and then a bunch of ballots that had not been counted kind of magically reappeared again. So it's interesting that it is, this person that keeps popping up, Melanie Joly, and then this same riding where they were having some issues in before. So interesting to see what happens if the Bloc actually does go ahead with this and if anything comes of it. I imagine not, but well, you have to do these things because, we're never going to get anywhere if we don't.
Yep.
Um, Around the same time as these elections, I believe, just ahead of them was the Liberal Convention. For those that
Oh,
haven't seen the video of the dancer in the thigh highs and the, like swimsuit spinning from chains from the ceiling, very professional, definitely a thing that world leaders should be seen doing and
yeah.
hanging out
And
at. Yeah,
I'm
totally
happy my
not.
tax dollars went for that,
Yeah,
even
totally
though I
not
wasn't
weird at
invited.
all. Um, but some interesting things have come up during this whole convention thing, because this is where, the MPs get to meet, you know, the everyday people and all of that, and they develop policies. And so, like, people can get up and say all kinds of weird, crazy things. And then, like, if it
Uh,
resonates with the people there, then the party will take that on as policy in any upcoming elections or anything else. And one of the things that came up was a $500,000 fee to leave the country.
can I put that on future taxes I'm going to be paying
Yeah.
if I don't leave?
So, um, there's definitely some countries that if you want to go there, you need to have a certain dollar value in finances or something, so that like you don't just show up and sponge off of your new country. That certainly doesn't
Mm,
exist here. But
no,
real
definitely does
countries,
not.
if you want to emigrate there, like the United States, you need to either be like bringing a business over there or some money, or have a visa, or somebody that is, responsible for you and things like that to go there. But
Yeah.
now, because of the brain drain, they say, where people that like have education that are from Canada want to get the fuck out of Canada and go somewhere where they can actually do something with their education.
Yep.
Um, I think it's more not so that they could do something with their education. It's just because they have the ability to leave this fucking country they are going to.
Yep.
There's been a proposal.
Mm.
So there will be a $500,000 exit tax on citizens seeking to work abroad. So this apparently was brought forward by Google's Patrick Pichette, who
By
relocated
Google.
to Europe
Did he
and
pay
paid
his?
$30 to work in the US decades ago.
So is he Canadian?
Yes, he is Canadian, or at least is
So
Canadian enough to attend the Liberal Convention, of which I don't think you actually need to be a citizen or a landed immigrant or any of
yeah,
the such. You just need
or
to
any of the things.
pay the
But
fee to be a member of the Liberal Party, and
so
then in theory you can attend the convention. But
yeah. So when he relocated to Europe, did he give 500K?
of course not, because that didn't
So
exist at the
so
time.
can we go back and charge crazy government interest to him?
Unfortunately, no. He did not pitch that as part of his idea
No, but
here.
should we just put the bug in the ear of the
I
CRA
mean,
and let them deal with it?
we can try, but I mean, if the party doesn't do it and make it law, then we got nothing. But he
Well,
apparently,
have you met the CRA lately? Because they're doing a lot of shit that's fucking shady as hell.
yeah. I mean,
Like
yes,
that's not law.
yes. I
So,
think we need to start doing a that CRA section on the show because they have
oh
certainly
Jesus,
earned that. But I'm kidding for anyone that is watching. Please do not pay attention too closely to my taxes, as it is theft season after all. Um,
this.
but yes, this gentleman has estimated the cost of producing a top tier graduate student at roughly $500,000.
So this is the part that puzzles me. So if I get government grants to go to school and I don't pay those
Mm,
grants back, absolutely those should be paid. If
yes.
I work hard, from I decide I want to be a doctor at the age of 11 and I do paper routes. I helped old people bring groceries home and this that for fucking pennies and this that, and then you get a job and you work hard and your parents are all up and your parents can help substitute some of your schooling, but you were very smart with all your money where you went to school and you got your doctorate to become a doctor and you went to the hospital and you did all your things. Where did it cost Canada anything? You got
Well,
paid, you
exactly.
paid taxes.
Yeah.
So that offset, like you have determined taxes are to offset, right? I make this much, I pay this much to offset the cost of
Yeah.
what, um, not the burden, but that's the only word I can think of, right? Like the burden on society, right? I pay
Yeah.
so much that I pay this much that I will use that much, which is never the case. But unless you have a bunch of government grants and this, that, like, hey, I
But
will pay for
but
your schooling, but you owe me 5 years of you
yeah,
working for me with
but
that
then they
degree.
need to establish those things before they give out the money. So like when you go
Yeah,
to med school and stuff like that, there's like return of service and where you have to go and serve like a underserviced
the
community and all.
military
But yeah,
doesn't.
it's saying like those are stipulations that you know in advance, and if you agree to it, then you have to abide by that. That's the contract.
Yeah,
These people like if they're gonna like give me money to go to school because I'm smart and they didn't put anything in there, well then that's on them. That
yeah, yeah.
sucks to be
I mean,
you. Like you
you
should have
you
thought of
use
that.
the you use that loophole. I use every loophole possible when I do
It
taxes.
is
Like,
not loophole, it
yeah,
is compliance.
yeah,
You are
but
obeying the law.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, hey, the nowhere in there does it say that I have to give
yeah,
you 10 years of service to offset that cost or blah blah blah. So fine, you can put that stipulation in now, but
yeah.
like, for
But
example,
you
the military. If you want to
yeah,
go to school in the military, you can sign up. They will pay for your schooling, and
yeah. But
depending on how much it costs and what your this
you
that
owe
you
them until they say you don't.
3, 4, 5, 7 years
Yeah,
depends on the degree, but you owe them service where they get to dictate your life.
yeah,
They say you're going to fucking Yukon to do,
yeah.
for
But
the
that's
next three
fair.
years, and
That's how that
it's like,
works.
and you're getting paid the whole time.
Yeah.
If you've
Well,
got a
it's the same. It's
family,
like
you can get
like a
school, like,
sports
yeah,
scholarship. If I go to university, college, whatever on a sports scholarship, they're
yep,
going to expect that I play sports and do
yep,
well at that sport. If I stop playing the sport, the scholarship goes away.
yeah,
So this would be the same thing where it's like
yeah,
if you agreed to do this, then yeah, you should have to pay that back. But if
right,
that doesn't exist, there shouldn't be a thing. And like a guy that
no,
took advantage of going to another country to make money because it was more advantageous to do that than to stay
Mhm.
here is the last person that should be like pitching this idea. And luckily, the younger people on the internet have started calling him out,
Yeah,
where they are saying that liberal boomers just love destroying the opportunities for future generations and
yeah,
pulling up the ladder
and
behind themselves. So yeah, it's
and
great for
ends.
this guy to go and get up there, but like anyone else after me, fuck you.
Yeah, like if I want to switch countries and go somewhere to do what I do now, well, the government has not invested in any of my schooling.
Yeah.
I've done everything where I'm like, it should be changed to just being like, if you've gotten any government grants and you haven't contributed enough back according to these guidelines, there's a cost associated. Up to 500,000 because, that's the max for being like this crazy fucking NASA engineer or whatever
Yeah.
our version of Canada is for NASA. Like up to a certain point, right? Do you give a little bit more, a little bit less, or at bare minimum, you should be dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
No, it costs 200,000 for you to do all your schooling. You need to pay $200,000 back.
But
Fair, right?
yeah. But yeah, if
One
that
for
doesn't
one, but
exist, then this is stupid. And like you're
yeah,
just trying to fuck over young people. Like
yeah. You're that's
where
because you don't
where
want
and
to
where's the
ruin.
incentive now to like actually work harder and like try to
Yeah,
do something to better yourself when now you have this ridiculous like how are you going to even get that to leave the country? Like that's it's retarded. Like this is insane.
not legally,
Yeah,
right? But like,
exactly. Yeah.
why are we in such a demand for doctors? Because they don't get paid that great compared to
Yeah, maybe we
every
should
other
fix that
country they're
by
moving toward,
paying them
right?
better rather than trying
Yeah.
to penalize people that leave. But
So yeah,
um,
instead of penalizing and figuring out why people leave, maybe we should incentivize people to stay.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
speaking
what
of
do we know?
$500,000,
Uh,
Mark Carney used taxpayer cash to spend $500,000 on plane food in his first year as PM. So I get it. Like, there are certain things that as a prime minister you need to do, and part of the gig is traveling around the world and meeting with other world leaders. And like
that's
you
up for
gotta
debate.
eat, yeah, you gotta eat and do
You
all of
gotta
that
eat.
stuff,
Yes.
right? So fine, like, there's going to be some expense there. But
How?
apparently there was 11,360 pounds, so like roughly what, 22 to $30,000 spent on catering for a 2-hour journey from Washington, D.C. in May.
Um, I have a better idea. They should eat the same as what my taxes pay for someone that is in jail. That's
Yeah,
what you
give
get
them
to
the
eat.
exact same meal options.
Yep.
So yes,
Also, we shouldn't do that because I don't want my taxes to go higher because they're complaining it's shitty food.
yeah. Also, on a
So,
subsequent October trip, so another like, 20,000 spent on in-flight refreshments for 55 delegates.
right, so
So that's
also,
roughly 11 times the fuel cost for that trip. What the
right,
fuck were they like? Did everyone get their own like personalized bottle of Cristal or something? Like,
but also, like, why is this in reference to pounds?
oh, because this article is from the UK. There weren't too many Canadian people reporting on this, interestingly
I
enough.
mean, yeah, okay, so that makes sense, but like, also, like, October, yeah, 9,000 pounds,
Yeah,
refreshment 55, like you just said,
yeah,
during which he met, Mark Carney visited Britain, which he met,
yeah.
King Charles and the Prime Minister,
So yeah, like
carried a
60
catering bill of
grand.
32,000 pounds.
Yeah, so like 60 grand, and then another one to the Vatican, which is 50,000 pounds, so like $100,000 on refreshments. Like, what the fuck are they drinking that is so fucking expensive on this
Well,
plane? Like,
not even that. If
is this like, is that what adrenochrome costs these days? Like, is that?
Also, I don't understand why we're going somewhere else. We're going to visit someone and I'm absorbing the cost. I'm not
Yeah.
like when I go visit you, I don't say, Gavin, I am gonna bring 9 people over. We're gonna be drinking, the most expensive whiskey, and we're gonna get cater
Yeah.
service. But also, it's not on you, right? Hey, I'm gonna bring some food. You like, it's a
Well,
mutual
it's
respect thing.
just
So
insane. Like,
like, why am I paying for my prime minister to go visit the Pope? If it's gonna cost me 50,000 pounds, don't go see the
that's
fucking ass.
just
Don't
that's
go see
no,
him.
no. It's costing you that in just beverages. It's costing you
And
way more than that when you roll it all in.
right,
But
like
yeah,
so.
so they're showing here like the average Canadian family of four spends, let's say, $20,000 annually on groceries. So in a single trip, this
Yeah,
guy is spending more on beverages than a
beverages.
family of four spends an entire year.
That doesn't include all the fuel,
Yeah, that's
wear
just
and
like
tear. Like that's not the
yeah,
plane to get there. That is strictly beverages
yeah.
at the Vatican. So like, what are you drinking? Holy water?
Well,
Like
it's not even what's there. It's what they drank
who?
on the way
How?
there. I'm
Yeah.
sure they racked up more bills once they were there. So I've got some stats here. So he logged 790,000 kilometers across 28 trips.
Um, should
So
be
28 trips over the course of the year, which basically works out to every other week he's flying
more,
somewhere.
more than that because half a year
Was
is
26.
26.
Yeah, yeah. So every other week, like slightly more than
and,
every other
and then
week.
some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You
more than
know,
6 months. At how much?
so per trip, well, let me just
I
double
know I
double
can't.
check double check my math here. 18,715 dollars to round it up to the closest dollar per trip.
Per week.
So like basically anytime this guy gets on a flight,
It's
it's
20
20
G's.
grand
Yep.
in like food and beverage.
So that doesn't account for his wage,
No, no, no.
plane to get to there and from, right?
Yeah.
There's costs
So
associated with that and all that.
yeah, that, and if he's got the same 55 people on the flight that he did on the one, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is like a very high number and that it's not 55 people traveling with him everywhere.
No, but
But
let's be generous due to
right,
math
if
reasons.
it is 55 people on every flight that he has taken, that is $340 per person in beverages every time he
Alone.
flies.
I
Like
mean, I don't have that
again,
budget, and I do this
what
every
the
Monday night.
what like a case of beer, like is less than
But
$100.
yep, especially if you go to Quebec, which he
Yeah,
has people that can bring it. Like
yeah.
Tell Ben just one. Like they can bring that
But that
60
is,
pack from fucking Costco.
yeah, like
But
that is insane.
yeah, and
Like
and
this
this
dickhead is here telling us that like we are going to have to make sacrifices, and for the betterment of the environment we need to do this and do that and everything else. Meanwhile, this guy is flying somewhere every other week
at
and
20K.
spending 20 grand in entertainment basically every fucking time he does that.
Yeah, and like
Meanwhile, like we're struggling to put food on our tables.
yep, right.
Like
What's how much is? I mean,
I
at
don't, I don't
least
see
beef
this
went
guy.
down.
Like, I don't see people like him making sacrifices in anything they do. Like I remember,
No,
like what was that $6 orange juice that somebody got and put on their bill was like a scandal. Meanwhile, this guy is 20 grand every
that's
time he
yeah,
steps
but
on a.
they they were
I know it's a
conservative.
conservative, so like $6 is like outrageous. Like
Yeah,
how many $6 orange juices is this guy buying?
at 20 grand,
A
for
lot.
55 people.
So it's like the
Yeah.
whole fucking plane full of orange juice, like, or is there
Yeah.
like a third plane that
There's
follows
another plane just
that's
full of
just
orange
full of
juice, and
orange
that's what the
juice?
cost is. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's, I, I mean,
this is insane.
it's like I'm not a politician by any trade, as you've noticed from many things I have said on this podcast. I I'm not opposed to going to see other countries to work on
Yeah,
trade,
that's
right? Like, hey, I
part of
have
the
goods and
gig.
services, and
Yeah,
you have goods and services. Like, what I offer this, what can you offer me? Let's come up with something that benefits us that either doesn't cost me or you anything, and we both end up with extra shit that like our countries can't make for ourselves, right? Like ideally, I
yeah,
would like to make money, but at the end of the day, as long as I didn't lose money, but I have a bunch of product that my constituents want, it's a
yeah,
win-win. Like,
yeah.
right? It didn't cost me anything to get all this product here, and now everything we sell it at is at a profit. Let's try and keep it reasonable, which never happens. Blah 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 blah. So fine, let's do things like that, right? Let's
Yeah.
make it beneficial. Why did we go to the Vatican
Well,
and
because he wanted to fucking rub
spend
elbows
anything?
with the Pope and apparently
What?
drink alcohol.
But why? Like,
Yeah,
what benefit did it bring to Canada?
it
Like,
doesn't.
fine,
The
like Canada,
Vatican doesn't
fine.
have shit
No,
to trade with other than religion, and they
yeah,
don't
and
charge for that usually. So,
don't, but fine, like the
yeah,
Canadian,
yeah,
Canada is based on the religion and everything. It's like you find you want to pay an homage to it, and
but
it's
technically, then
it's
it's
in
not
tradition,
Catholic though. It's Anglican. So,
right? Like so, like okay, so what was the purpose? Like other than I met the guy that wears the weird hat. Like other than that, like what's the benefit, right? 28 trips. What countries did we go to? Did we do anything good? How many times did we go to the US and we're still paying tariffs on stupid shit, right? No benefit to us. So
yeah,
I'm not saying everything needs to be made on deal one, but like there needs to be
no,
some
but
steps forward.
yeah, and sometimes deals fall through and shit like
Yep.
that, but there needs to be a reason for it and all of the thing. And I agree. Like, I mean, as a business person, I have gone and had to fly places to meet people to try to work
Hmm.
on deals and all of that. So
But
like,
yeah, I'm not saying like you got to
but
make the deal like
but I
all through,
also
but
don't spend 20 grand on entertainment, food, and beverage on the fucking
also,
like not even on the whole trip combined does it cost me that much. Like,
but not
oh
even just that. Did you ever take a business trip to the Vatican? Right. Let's
no.
just say for business
Although
purposes, that
actually, you know
has
what? I
nothing.
have. But it
Did
was a reward. Well, I didn't travel to the Vatican to do business. We won a reward trip for business, and they took us to Italy, of
okay,
which one of the days we
that's
went to.
different.
So, like, technically,
But
but also
but
again,
but that wasn't an initial business
yeah,
trip that you invested in saying this is going to be the
no,
betterment for the betterment of my company. You
yeah,
had done a business transaction and you had gotten something, and that was a perk of that business transaction,
yeah.
right?
I don't know. It's wild though. Like,
And
that's way
yeah,
too much
it's
money.
yeah,
Like 20
right.
grand every time this guy steps on a plane and food and beverages is ridiculous, especially when he's the guy that's telling us we need to make sacrifices, and I don't see him sacrificing even like a tenth of a
No,
penny on anything. So he can go
no.
fuck himself.
You know what? They should just get really fancy ramen
Yeah.
noodles
Yeah.
on those planes from now on,
Yeah, and that is it.
right? At
Not even hot.
$3 a
Not even
bag
they have to bring their
instead
own
of
hot
33
water.
cents a bag.
Yeah, crazy. All right. Alberta testing AI powered drone technology in battle against wild boar.
Oh, I have, I actually have a solution right behind my computer here. Here, let me go get
Don't
it.
don't touch it. You're not allowed to on live things.
Oh, not even just the thing?
No. Well, we will get
Oh,
banned or like, yeah, you
oh,
can't touch any of that. If we
okay.
record and then show it, you can handle
Record then
all,
post.
yeah, but live, you
Okay,
can't touch
so
the thing.
so so it's a solution. That
Yeah,
would require my press right here, my powder dispenser right here, and it goes in brass and
yeah,
it's got lead at the top. Um, if we open that up to people, I would gladly go hunt boar
yeah.
if it was available.
Well,
Like,
maybe when you do that, you can use AI powered drones with thermal imaging, as is tradition.
yeah, goes after my uh
Well,
quarter or eighth heritage. I'm part native on
yeah,
my
you're
dad's
good.
side of the
Yeah,
family. So like, does that mean I could do it with an AK?
probably. Yeah. I mean that we paid Americans to come in with ARs and overcapacity magazines and suppressors and helicopters and everything to help with this stuff. So I don't
Was it
see.
Americans? I thought it was New Zealand's.
I think we've done it a few times. So I think
The
once
the
it
one
was like
that one in BC, I think there was
I
one
think there
time
was
where it was New
Australians or
Zealand's.
whatever. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
we've also
and I'm
paid
just like, really?
Americans. Yeah.
Do you understand? We would have done it with a fucking lever action single shot, and I
Yeah.
would have paid to do it. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have had to pay
You
me.
would have
Like,
the government would have made money instead of having to spend money. But
yeah,
yes, apparently Alberta is now using drones with AI and thermal cameras and everything to track wild boars because they are becoming very destructive and invasive. Um,
just imagine if those were ostriches.
yeah, they wouldn't have stood a chance. So yes, they now have automated drones equipped with infrared cameras, and they have offer an innovative and non-invasive alternative to traditional detection methods.
I like clarification on that because the government is using AI and drones, and they're saying it's different. So what did you do
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it
don't worry.
before?
This segues into another article about AI and facial recognition and everything else. But so like I so again,
Um,
like this is a problem. I don't disagree with them using technology to like
yep,
track these things and all. It makes sense. Like
yeah.
it'd
I
be a
mean,
very resource draining thing to have people and helicopters and all of that when you can just have drones that'll go out there. And especially with a
yeah,
thermal camera, like they can instantly recognize the shape of a pig
yeah,
and all that.
and
What they should do though is that once they figured out where they are, is to start selling hunting tags for that area.
yeah,
Or like if you have a wild boar tag, you get access to the drone tracking software and then you can
yeah,
go and hunt them.
and also like I'm not opposed to like limiting some of it so that you don't
Yeah.
have like 8,000 people trying to get on like one farmland and like 8,000 people shooting for like 40 pigs,
Yeah.
but like have a thing where it's just like, okay, you've been vetted, you paid the quote unquote tax or fee to be able to do this. And hey, drone footage uploads every Tuesday at midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got something? Perfect. Let's kick you back. Let's do like the lottery for moose tags in Ontario, right? Where it's a point system. And if you've gotten something and you went somewhere in an area where, hey, this is an area, let's already pre-talk to the people that live there. Like, hey, if that's your, cottage for the next week or two, maybe don't go there. We'll give you a kickback on taxes and this, that. But like, we're trying to address an issue. I'm all
Yeah.
up for private property and being able to do whatever you want, but in the gooderness of like thinking big picture, right? We don't want the wild boars to go take all the food
Yeah.
out of all the farms. Like, I'm going to impede on you for the next 2 weeks in hopes that we can prevent this from affecting everything. Yes, your
Yeah.
tax breaks on your taxes and I will compensate you for it, all the things. But I mean,
Yeah.
we got enough people to pay tag, right? Like I would buy a wild boar tag, like $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Put me in that fucking lottery, right? $100 to
Yeah.
go shoot wild boars.
Except how Alberta is currently focusing their efforts. So they're monitoring,
Yep, that's
trapping,
the issue. Yep.
tightly restricting wild boar farms because like there are people that, farm wild
Yeah.
boar for meat. But there's also a ban on wild boar sport hunting.
Oh,
which to me seems sort of stupid, is because again, you have people that will
it's an issue.
gladly take care of the problem. And
Yep.
again, like I said, if you could have people that would be willing to pay, and if you have this drone or
That
fleet
costs
of
money.
drones that are out there like searching for them, if you were to go, hey, everyone that's got a wild boar tag for this region, they've been
Yep.
spotted in this region. So now would be a great fucking time to try and go and fill that tag
Yep.
so that the people that go out there have a higher chance of being successful and doing
Yep.
it. Like you look at areas that have like coyote or wolf like overpopulation problems. What do?
Mm-hmm.
More tags, go out, hunt them.
Yep.
And guess
Yep.
what? It
Get them.
fucking works. Why would you
Yep.
not be trying this with this problem? Like
All right. And yeah, and it's just I don't know. It's
it's
like I hope
crazy.
doesn't become a problem due to this. Like if we're gonna
Yeah.
track it and we're gonna do things like, okay, let's try and mitigate it. Like, fine. I mean, I'll agree to disagree on this, but like we should have 200 wild boars running around just to balance out the ecosystem. I don't see how that would be helpful because they don't hunt anything other than they're a devastation on crops.
Yeah.
So
You're not supposed to be
fine.
here.
Yeah. Like they were
But
not
to
initially here. The second we start importing or allowing anything that was not originated in that area and didn't naturally evolve in this
yeah.
area compared to like, somehow bunnies got canine teeth and grew to the size of my dogs due to
Yeah.
evolution and just predators around and like they needed to. Like, fine, let's mitigate it so that they don't eat me in general because my dogs are massive. But anything that is not originally here, just like every infestation of bug we have, right? Let's bring this random bug from another country to help mitigate that, and then we end up with two problems. Or how many times have we introduced mountain lions, lynx, leopards, wolves, coyotes, anything to try and mitigate something, and it has become a giant problem because
Yeah.
they reproduce and they start causing havoc because they can't find the thing we're initially trying to get, and they start causing havoc on dogs,
Yeah.
little children in
But
backyards. Like,
you know how they would have a harder time reproducing if they didn't exist?
yeah,
Just go and shoot a few of them. They
yeah,
won't
absolutely.
like
Yeah. Like
yes.
let's do it. Like I
Yeah.
mean, wild bacon sounds
Yeah.
nicer
Wild
than
boar is amazing.
yeah, it's good. I mean,
Yeah.
fine, it's not your cup of tea. You don't have to buy it. But if I'm willing to pay and get
Yeah.
it, you
It
get
it
more
helps
bacon at the
it help
store
like we
because
have
I got
proven
my own
time and
bacon.
time and time again that hunting helps in like conservation and
Yeah.
overpopulation and everything else. I don't know why we aren't using it. I'm all for them using the technology, although, however, apparently the thermal sensors can be tricked by warm rocks or branches or dense canopies. Additionally, the AI programs sometimes struggle to distinguish wild pigs from other wildlife like deer. And
Okay.
sometimes,
Depending on the size of the deer, I
yeah,
could see that. Like
so
maybe Bambi.
it's not
Um,
perfect.
yeah,
But again, like I said, like use this technology, pair it with tags, and people will go out
yeah,
and maybe have a good time. And we
yeah.
solve the problem.
Yep. Um, Overall, less problems, less
Yeah,
strain on the grocery stores.
yeah,
Um, I now have wild boar that I make sausages, ground
yeah,
boar meat with, and I add to pork and make patties. And then next time we meet, Gavin, we have amazing burgers.
yeah,
And like all in all, so I paid to either purchase or reload my own bullets. I pay for my license to get it. I already go through the licensing process to have a firearm to do this. We all know, we all hunt. How much gear does it cost to be warm, comfortable,
yeah.
friendly,
A
right?
lot,
So
yeah.
I've already paid, right, taxes on $2,000 worth of product that isn't necessarily required to go hunting. You can go
No,
hunting
it
in blue
is.
jeans,
Any
but
idiot can be cold and wet.
yeah,
I don't like
right. So
being an
I've
idiot. So.
Yeah, no. So I like being dry. I like
Yeah.
being warm. So I've already invested all these things. So all that contribution that I've already done on top of paying for a
Yeah.
tag and keep it open. Oh, there's so many more. We're just
Yeah, it
like,
just seems
how's
like
it any
such a
different
waste.
than a
Like
butt
we're
tag?
we're spending
Yeah.
the government and therefore our taxes are spending all this money on technology and then not utilizing it in a way that makes sense. But
Yeah.
that's all right. We're also using AI and facial recognition in a pilot program in Edmonton for police.
Yeah. How's that working
Yes.
out?
Well, let's see. So dozens of Edmonton police officers patrolled the city streets in December, equipped with body cameras that use artificial intelligence to scan faces, looking for what the police have deemed high-risk offenders.
Oh.
So documents and emails obtained by that news organization that our taxes pay for
Yeah.
have uncovered this.
So it wasn't announced,
So
like to the public prior to it
yeah,
being
they didn't really
implemented.
like fully announce this, but like
Oh,
it's been found out that this is a thing. So
yeah.
AI-powered facial recognition software was trained to detect the faces of about 7,000 people on a watch list based on mugshots of people police say have serious criminal warrants or are flagged as potential safety risks.
So warrants I'm up for.
Yeah,
Potential safety risk I'm not good with because
it's
you think I'm a risk. Maybe I've
yeah.
changed since the last interaction.
Well, and I agree. Like if there is a warrant out for your arrest, that
Yeah.
means that you are wanted for having done something criminal or potentially
Yeah.
criminal.
Yep.
If you have been arrested before and you have
Yep.
done your time,
Yep.
in
Or been
theory,
acquitted or yep.
that should be like, you've paid for your
Should
crimes.
yeah,
I know
absolutely.
this is up for debate, but like,
Technically.
we will use like if I go do X and then I have to do Y as reparations for it, that's a wash now, and I should be at zero again. And I understand why we might want to not fully trust some people, but also
Yep.
until it is proven that I have done something wrong again, I'm the same as everyone else out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so unless
Yeah.
these people like if you're on probation or something, then I could see your face being on that just to make sure that you don't get caught in the wrong place at the right or the wrong time
Right.
and all of that. But again, that's sort of up there with a warrant. But like just people that they're like, well, I think they're high risk, but I don't really have any other thing.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
very slippery slope.
Right, but even being on probation, like, does not
Yeah.
mean that you should be scanned and flagged as walking into a Tim
Well,
Hortons.
and that's like
And
there's some like you're
like,
in public, so there's no reasonable right to privacy in public, but that's slightly different because it's not just the camera recording you,
no,
it's
it's using
recording you and logging that this is you at this place and time and that this officer
and being
saw
used
you
against you in
potentially.
a
Yeah.
right, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I mean,
like
it's like the
people that have
whole,
warrants,
yeah.
people that are wanted, absolutely,
Yeah,
I'm not
but it's like the
opposed to
whole
that.
like speeding cameras, and it's like, are you doing something wrong? Yes, but like also like fuck off. Like you didn't catch me, a camera did,
Yeah, and
right?
it's
Like,
like, you can't catch me because you didn't warn me the camera was there. And it's like, well, I mean, in my opinion, we should have
yeah,
more of it because too many people drive like douchebags. All in all, but like, hey, like these are the laws, these are the parameters. Follow them.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if I
and
ever
I'm
told
all
you the
for
story about my brother RCMP, that RCMP, but a person came in and tried to argue 3 tickets because they pulled up to a light and they made a right hand turn on a red light and the camera went off. They were like, well, that was legal. So for some reason, they, did the loop 3 times, got the flash went off 3 times. Then they went into the police station with all 3 tickets because they all happened within 5 minutes of each other to argue the tickets. And then someone looked at it and said, yeah, none of these are turning on a red light. They're all seatbelt tickets.
yeah,
So you have to pay all three of these fines because you weren't wearing your seatbelt. And it was clearly obvious, not like
Yeah,
they were wearing the same colored shirts, but it's just like, like
yeah. Like,
it's fuck. It gets you get down too many rabbit holes there where I'm just like, if you're wanted on any warrants,
yeah,
um, you
yeah.
shouldn't be in certain areas.
Yeah,
Yes.
you forfeit your rights by doing
Yeah.
something shitty and criminal, and therefore you don't have the same protections as everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
But
think that's fine.
yeah, anybody on probation,
Yeah, like
I
it shouldn't be
that's
that
up for debate.
easy.
No,
Yeah,
it
it's
that's up for debate. If you're on probation, um, you shouldn't be allowed to do whatever you want, but I don't think you should be under the same scrutiny of it.
yeah,
There are people that do jobs that, like probation officers, like maybe
yeah,
they need to do a better job of following or recording or doing things with people,
yeah,
excuse me, that, you know, do whatever, drug test, piss test,
yeah. So
who are you
some
hanging out with? But
yeah,
yeah, it's
so
retarded.
some key details from the documents have included that a privacy assessment that was submitted to Alberta's privacy watchdog by the police includes wording that experts told CBC could open the possibility of sharing sensitive information. So that's not
Like,
good.
no. But also, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, they would have to be more specific on this, but like
Yeah.
if they're capturing images of you like at certain places that may or may not be sensitive, like a hospital, a doctor's office, anywhere else that is legal for you to be, but maybe compromising in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
that could be problematic, right? Especially if like this video is shared with other people and it's not just random video that someone would have to connect the dots if they saw it. Like they would have to know that it's you and connect the dots as opposed to like, oh, now AI is going not just here's an image, but this is so and so. They're at this place at this time and meeting these people,
Yeah.
right?
Which
That
are
could be,
also AI generated and
and it's not
confirmed
just
on who those
sharing it
people
with
are.
the police that may have some sort of like we can't talk about this thing in place, but it's now being shared to the company that runs these cameras or whoever controls the AI for testing or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
It's
There's
all backed
also
up on a Google Cloud, right?
yeah,
Like, which makes
exactly,
me
right?
really feel really safe.
And it's again, yeah, it's not just an image, it's an image with your name and
Yeah.
geographical data, all that attached to it. Also, a critical fault system outage prevented matches for several days and may have extended the project longer than it was supposed to be.
So did it or did it not? What do you mean may? Like
Well, we don't know.
did
I mean, I
like
guess
okay,
if the
but
thing didn't work for 4 days, they probably ran it for 4 days longer. I'm making up numbers, but I'm
yeah,
guessing
yeah.
that's what
I
happened.
mean, yeah, that makes sense. But like also
But if
okay,
it was
well what's
supposed to run from this date to that date with no provisions for extensions should it malfunction, then that's also a problem
yes.
because
And
that's
and
outside
also
the parameters. But
the critical fault of the system being out, does that mean that you can guarantee with 120% accuracy that when it wasn't during critical fault that it was
yeah,
absolutely accurate,
well,
right?
exactly, right?
Because it's a
There's a
system.
lot that's potentially up for debate here. Also, the facial recognition model was apparently supplied by Coresight AI, which is an Israeli company who is also using this same technology or similar technology for mass surveillance in Gaza,
So this is all related to Epstein.
probably. But, so this is another thing here where like
Yeah.
we won't get into
Okay.
what side of the argument you're on, but there are people that are upset right now about what's happening in that part of the world. And this is a
Yeah.
company that is not just like sort of involved, but actively involved because they are providing the
Yeah.
technology
Uh,
to track people in Gaza.
so like we don't have anything Canadian capable of doing this.
Oh, I'm sure we do, but for whatever reason, we've decided to partner with them
So
probably because it's already like an off the shelf solution rather than like
yeah,
starting from
so
scratch. But
if we're gonna do something that involves, in my opinion, national security,
yeah,
I don't need them knowing who's doing what, who's doing where. As much as I disagree with the Canadian government knowing what I do with the software, I would prefer the Canadian government having access to it as well as a third party government having access to it, right? Like, so an Israeli company owns the software. There's probably a way of getting backdoor database info
well, I'm
on
sure, yeah.
all those things.
Well, and or
So,
like, yeah, if something isn't working, it
yeah,
goes back to them, and then what happens to the data that's on there, and that's probably what's relating to this sensitive data may be shared.
yeah. So, um, like I said, I
Yeah,
hate to say like, okay, let's if Canadian thing police agencies want to use this, should be announced. We can agree to disagree. It needs to be Canadian based. Data stays in Canada. Fingers
that,
crossed it won't get used at my gulag appeal.
yeah.
But
So yeah,
you know, yeah, having other companies supplying technology for something of this sensitive and getting into Minority Report and all the movies we've watched and like Terminator
yeah.
and everything, yeah, it puts the hair on the back of my neck stand up quite a
Well,
bit.
exactly. And
And
so, I mean, one of the things here that's saying that like the Edmonton police are doing to sort of mitigate some of these concerns. So all police officers are required to wear a body camera, which I am fine with. I
yep,
think it protects both people in those instances because it's
yep,
like,
yep.
so the police are required to wear them, but they only start recording when the officer presses a button during investigative or enforcement related activities. So they're not just recording all day, every day, doing whatever they're doing, only when there is a reason for the officer to be interacting directly with a person.
Right,
And
and
so, in theory, then the facial recognition features do not work unless the camera is recording.
right, but do they have a certain protocol on when you should have it on and when you shouldn't, right? Like, I'm not saying that I should listen to the person driving the vehicle driving down the road, right? And like, I don't need to hear them
Yeah, so
singing the
that's
Taylor
what they're saying. So like
Swift
the minute
and
that like there starts to be an interaction between an officer and a person, whatever that
right,
interaction may be, that's when they're supposed to turn on the camera and that's when the facial recognition thing kicks in. So
right,
cops
but I'm
walking
gonna,
down the street, just doing his job, like not interacting, but just like walking the beat,
but
cameras off.
is is there something in there? Like, so I know what the protocol says, but what I'm getting at is, does that mean it's not on at that point?
Well, that's correct. It is supposed to be they turn it on when that interaction starts. That doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they might not have turned it on by accident or
Yeah.
on
So,
purpose. But I mean
right,
that's but
and that's the hard line, right? Where I'm like,
well and
okay,
like
yeah, absolutely. There's an
there's no
interaction.
way to like it could also go the other way where like if the cop has to push the button to turn it on, if they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and something happens, they may not even be able to turn it on
Yeah.
in
Or
time,
they think they did, right? Because
right?
there's
So
you got to
like
hold the
there's
button for
some,
3 seconds,
but
and
at
they
least
only
there's
held it for
the,
two.
in theory, if it is not on, it is not recording. So that's part of how they justify some of this as a safety thing because it's like, well, the cop's not just walking down the street recording everyone's face and their identity. It's only when
Okay.
an interaction happens.
Yeah. So,
But also, apparently, it doesn't work in poor lighting conditions or if the person is more than 4 meters away.
Okay.
So
So
therefore, it is not catching like if there's an interaction going on, it's recording the person that is directly in front of them.
yeah, but you're
But
20 meters
people,
away getting out of Giant Tiger.
you may be blurry in the background, or maybe even not
Okay.
so blurry, but past 4 meters, the facial recognition will not work. So people that are sort of innocently in the background of an interaction, in theory, should not be tagged.
Okay. So
But
like I
that's
didn't
for
get to this
now.
article during the pre-show.
Yeah,
So um
in the future, as the technology gets better, that might change. But as of right
yeah,
now, so yeah,
it's
like it's one of those, like, again, it's a slippery slope thing where it's like, I don't necessarily disagree with this,
I just don't like how it
but
can be abused,
this is the
right? I don't
problem. Like, there needs
yeah,
to be very clear and
yeah,
concise rules for this kind
that
of a
are
thing.
that are
And
followed with many, many things to make sure they're followed properly because abuse of power is
yeah,
unfortunately a thing that can happen. And when you're at the
yeah,
top, right? Like you are the law, right? As a
yeah,
police officer, like quote unquote, um, you know,
yeah,
the capability of abuse is a lot easier. So as long as they're
absolutely.
very strict, these are the guidelines, and there's checks and balances that are not strictly AI generated and not strictly government regulated. I am
Yeah,
all
and
up for it
if
because
for
this is good.
whatever reason, like, even if it's accidentally that thing is recording when it shouldn't be recording, that
That should,
can't be used against somebody, even if
yep,
they're like, even if they're a shitbag and I want it to be used against them, it shouldn't be.
yeah, it shouldn't because there's a thing and right and that was always the thing, right? Like how many shows have you watched where it's just like, do you voluntarily give your DNA? And you're like, well, I got nothing to hide because I didn't do anything. And they check
Yeah,
it and they're like, oh, that wasn't your DNA. But I was like, yeah, but
yeah,
you keeping that DNA on a database?
yeah.
Like
And
I
it's,
wasn't
again, it's
kept for
that, like,
anything, but I
yeah.
voluntarily gave it. So you
Well,
have the
even if you
capability of
don't
keeping it.
voluntarily give it, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm drinking out of this beer can right now. So, like, if
Yeah, yeah,
I'm outside of my house and I set this down on my front stoop and it's considered garbage now because
garbage.
it's in
Yeah,
public, someone can come and take that because, again, no reasonable right to privacy and all of that. And it's like, well, okay, it's
yeah.
one thing, like, if you do that and you test it and then you find out that I've done some crimes, but what do you do with it if I haven't?
Hmm.
Right? Like, that should be
They
immediately
suspect.
destroyed.
Yeah, they suspect you because they
Yeah.
found a white guy with a beard that did some stuff, and you fit the
Yeah.
criteria. And they test it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, fine. It's not him. Fine, we can talk about the legalities of how they got it with public things." And they're right, the beer can, like you just said.
Yeah.
But the second you were like, "Oh, that's not him,"
That should be
is
destroyed. Or, like, in a very
is
short.
that kept? And they like kind of keep your name next to it, and it just goes on a
Yeah.
file of like, "Hey, we haven't needed it." And I don't understand the whole clarity on the aspects of things like that, similar to the facial rec,
Yeah.
right? But you haven't done anything, Gavin, but it registered
But
you as Gavin.
yeah.
And now somehow it's gonna, oh well, now we're starting to track Gavin. So if Gavin does something, we now have a backlog that we can track his
Yeah.
movements,
It's
right? And
like, it's, yeah, it's super slippery slope and problematic. Like,
yeah, I vote we should just all conceal carry.
yes,
That'll
I
keep us way more honest.
I agree. That would be far better.
Yeah.
Um, all right, on to the next one here. Um, Farmers fight liberal high-speed rail plan ahead of crucial by-elections. So I guess one of the things that the liberals have been talking about, although this has been a thing that has been talked about for decades now at this point, and nothing has ever been done with it, shocking, I know, is that
Yeah.
high-speed rail that connects, like, Toronto to Ottawa. Problem
Nope.
is that, like, to
How's
do
that going?
that, it cuts right through, like, farms. And so the government will come in, and apparently, in this country, if you haven't been paying attention, private property isn't actually private property, and you have no
No,
rights to anything, not even
you're a
in our
tenant.
Constitution. They can just take it from you if they feel like there's a need for them to take it from you.
Mhm. And they don't
And
even have to compensate you for it technically.
yeah,
They
they will
they will
offer
start,
you,
yeah, but
but if you don't take the offer, you will get
you're on your own.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
even if that offer is
pennies on
subpar
the
at
dollar.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, right. If
And
if it's 3 cents on the dollar of what it's actually worth, if that's what they
yeah,
deem is needed, like you take it or leave it because it's not going to go up. It's going to keep going down
yeah,
because yeah, you
and,
you
and
have nothing to stand on.
yeah, and so the problem with this is that like if that rail line bisects your property, what happens, right? So like they'll pay you for the portion that they confiscate
Deem.
from you,
Yeah.
but now my property's cut in half.
Yep.
Well, what do I do now with that other half of my property that I can't access? It's useless to me. So what they're
Yep.
saying is that like there's a bunch of people that are at risk here of stuff like that happening where the offer that they're going to be given
Yeah.
is not going to be worth the potential impact on like the
Other part of the
productivity.
property I can't use.
Yeah.
Or I have to now deviate a whole
Or even
path,
if it
which
doesn't
is
like bisect it, it just obliterates part of it. If
yeah,
I need to have, 100 acres to run my farm effectively,
yeah, to
but
keep
now
all
I
your
only
wild
have
boars.
75 acres, and
Yeah.
that's not enough for me to produce enough product. I'm making up numbers. I don't know how many acres you need to run a
Yeah.
farm, but
Yeah.
my point stands. If I now don't have that because the government's taken some of it, well, then I can't run my farm and make money and provide for my livelihood and my family and all that.
Yeah. Not without going to find another
Yeah.
property and now you're
And them giving
leasing
me,
property and like
like, it would be
not
one thing
enough.
if you're like ongoing lease that does the thing, then it's like, but they're not going to do that because they're not going to just
No.
perpetually give you money. It's going to be a
No.
one-time offer, which like great. So now I have enough money to get through the next year or two or three,
Yeah.
maybe.
Right.
But
So it's like let
after that, I'm fucked because now I can't make enough whatever it is that I grow or produce to pay my
right.
bills.
And
So,
this is where I'll say it should not be a thing, but we there's generational farms where
mm,
the kids want nothing to do with the farms. So you
yeah,
have big corporations that buy things. Like I'm worried about even mentioning this because I'm worried about abuse and all that. But like, should those farms have an option to sell at fair market value to the government in certain areas where, hey, I'm gonna take 25 acres. Um, I will compensate you um, you know, to and from, within mitigation, like, oh, now you got to drive, 10 kilometers down the road to go to this 100 acres, but you have full access to this 25 acres because I stole your 25 acres, going off your analogy, right? So you still have
yeah,
100 acres, but on the financial book side, it's going to be the exact same as you just harvesting your 100 acres. You still
yeah,
have access to 100 acres. Yes, there's here or there, right? It's going to cost you more in fuel, wear and tear, maintenance, hours of, working and whatever. So I'm like, can't like it bothers me that we can't come up with a non-abusive way of doing something like that because everybody gets greedy. Government is horrible at finances, where it's just like, hey, there's a cost of living with it every day, right? Oh, gas went up 40 cents a liter. Well,
huh,
I can't give you $2,000 and expect you to do the same with that $2,000 if that $2,000 is for fuel now, right? And that's why I'm like, I'm hesitant on saying government taking it, but there should be something like that because there is property out there where farmers, they're getting at their wits' end. They're getting old, and their kids
yeah,
want nothing to do with the property. Where it's going to get gobbled up by either another farmer that's looking to expand, which I'm all up for, or it's going to go to some giant incorporation that has figured out how to get, 30 mom and pops to work for him so that they can keep doing what they want to do, but he makes money. So I'm like, let's cut that guy out.
Yeah,
And
I mean, there's got to be something that they can do, or just, maybe don't build this fucking rail line.
yeah, I mean,
Like that's
I'm
probably the
way
easiest. Like,
I'm I'm way more I'm way more inclined for that because
well,
like
it doesn't sound
what's
like
the
we
time?
need
What are we
it.
cutting down? What are we
Yeah,
cutting down? To offset the cost of what this is gonna cost taxpayers, right? Because
yeah.
government's building it. And then how long is it gonna take to recover the money and all this stuff? It's gonna be a fucking 60-year project to at best break even. And what do we gain from it? Oh, you can get from Toronto to Ottawa in
Why?
an hour and a half instead of 5 on Via.
Yeah, like
Yeah, no.
if people need to fucking make that trek, just get on a fucking airplane,
Yeah, it's a 45-minute flight.
right? Like, I I don't think
Thumbs
we
up.
need this. Like, it would
No,
be
I
one
don't.
thing if like the land was just like
Empty.
wilderness government land, and they're like, if they'd wanted this rail line, they should have done it before people started like building homes and farms and their livelihood is attached to
Yeah,
it and everything else. Like, I know some people that are potentially affected by this, and it'll cut
yeah,
through their farm property or very close to their farm property, which will be like close enough that it will affect them and their ability to do what they do.
yeah.
And like, that's bullshit because they've been
Yeah,
there for years. Like,
that should never be a thing.
right? This is the
Um,
same thing as like dickheads moving next to a gun club and then complaining that it's too loud.
fuck.
Like, no, the gun club was there first.
Yep.
You can
You
fuck
knew it was
off.
there. Like, was it hidden from you? And like somehow every time you came out here, it was hidden from you. Like, no,
Yeah,
it should just be in disclosure. Hey, there's
yeah,
a gun range, 2 kilometers away. You're probably gonna hear some pop shots. Like,
yeah,
we can, hey, these are the rules of the gun club. So like, yeah, they shouldn't be shooting at 11 o'clock at night. Absolutely call at that point.
yeah.
But
But
at
also, like,
7:30 in
they
the
were here
morning,
first and you moved
yeah,
there, and like,
yeah,
that's on you now.
yeah, and yeah, fucking
Yeah. Yeah, well, they just need to, I don't know, fuck off with this plan because like it's been a thing that's been in the works for decades, but we've done
yeah.
without it for decades. So at this point, maybe just, I don't
So
know,
we've
fucking
been
drop it.
we've been working on it for decades, which means how many millions and billions of dollars have we wasted
Well, I think
in
it's
having
probably,
people look at plans and
I mean,
like
probably
figure
like, I
stuff
mean,
out?
some, but like probably not a lot because I don't think it's been high priority until like now.
Doesn't mean it didn't cost a lot.
But yeah, fair, fair. But yeah, we could probably just get rid of it.
Yep.
Also, for dealing with farms in Ontario,
Mhm.
changing some outdated tax rules could keep more farms open, says Mount Forest, Ontario farmer. Without an amendment, some inheriting farmers could be taxed into the millions of dollars, cattle farmer says. So, a law in the Income Tax Act aims to keep family farms running, but some farmers in southern Ontario say that times have changed and the law needs to change too. So when a farm changes ownership, the new owner has to declare the farm as a capital gain and pay taxes for it as part of their income taxes. So this is one of the things that people have been complaining about, and like this whole capital gains thing is kind of like a,
Slippery slope of
well, like,
bullshit.
yeah, it's, I bought a thing for X amount of money. The government now tells me that it's worth more money, but I haven't sold it yet,
Even
per
if I
se.
sell it,
But
I
and
have
then
an
that's
issue
the
with paying
thing.
more.
Well, yes, because I already paid taxes on the thing when I
Yeah.
bought it, and I get, yeah, it's, and whoever paid for the property originally paid taxes, so the taxes were paid on the property, and they shouldn't be paid again every time that property changes hands. It should only happen one time when that property is purchased initially. if we were going to
Yeah.
do all of this. But yes. But the problem is, yeah, like if it's been in the family for decades and then now all of a sudden you inherit the farm, it's basically being considered sold, and you now have an asset that you are taxed on, which is like crazy. But this is not just farms, it's your parents' house. It's literally anything that is passed on to you as inheritance.
Yes. Which,
But on farms, it can be like ridiculous because if you
oh yeah.
own several hundred acre property,
Plus all the assets, right? If they've got any
yeah,
equipment, right? Like how much does a harvester cost, right? Like
well,
four
exactly,
hundred
right?
thousand dollars. So
Yeah,
like, what's
or
capital gains
more,
on
like
that? And then that, like,
exactly, right? And this is the
yeah,
thing is like I know some people that have run some farms and stuff like that, and like according to the bank, they are rich as fuck, right? Because
yeah,
they have
they have
assets,
all the assets
right?
worth,
They have
$25
massive
million
property,
dollars.
yeah, a
Yeah,
combine, a barn, and like livestock, and all of this stuff that went on paper adds up to a fuckload of money.
yeah,
But if they weren't producing their own food, they would have a very hard time putting food on their
yeah.
table.
Yeah, though they're growing a garden because fuck going to the grocery store to buy
Hmm,
potatoes, right? Like, yeah, on the
yeah,
books they're worth 25
yeah.
million dollars
Because
a
yeah,
year,
you got
but
that combine that's worth 500,000 to $1 million, right?
yeah,
Depending on what it is. And you might have more than one piece of equipment that is in that price range. So like according to the bank, like you have millions of dollars in assets.
yep,
But cash money wise, like that you can just go to the bank and pull out of your account and be like, here you go, I'm paying my bills. You may have very little.
yeah,
And this is the problem. So when that property changes hands,
yeah,
what do you
right, and
have? Nothing.
and and fuck, what is it? I know. Fucking Mel looked into it, and thinking like you can make a. Is it an estate? I don't know if it's an estate.
So there's some things that you can do to mitigate it. Like you can do a family trust and things like
That's
that,
it.
where
The
the
trust.
assets are
Yeah,
put into a trust. But even then, like it doesn't get rid of some of that stuff. It just shrinks the tax implications because the people that are in the trust are already owners of the thing.
yeah.
So the best thing that you can do
Allegedly.
is if you own assets, a house, and everything else, put your kids on the documents as owners already.
Yep.
So that way, and bank accounts too. Don't tell your
Yep.
kids that they're on your bank account, but put your kids on your bank account. So technically, the money in that bank account is already theirs. So when you die, one,
They don't have to pay
there's
capital gains.
no time period where they have to wait to access the money because it's already their money. And two, because it's already their money,
Yep.
a lot of that tax stuff goes away. So if they already are on the deed to your house,
Yep.
again, don't tell them
They,
because
yeah,
they
they don't.
might take
Yeah, they don't.
advantage of that.
So
But
they don't have to pay capital gains on
on a
inheriting the
thing,
house because you
but
passed away,
because they haven't inherited it because they already own it.
right? So they will have to pay capital gains when they sell, which is no different than if I was to sell.
Yes, but that at least is they then have the
Th-
money from the sale that they're
yeah,
paying taxes on. So like the taxes aren't going to be more than what you sell the property for. They're going to be a percentage of it.
yeah,
So that's
right.
fine.
So
The problem is like when all of a sudden that thing is just transferred to you and you have $0, it's like,
yeah,
well, now I can't buy it because I have
yeah,
no money to like I don't have to buy the property, I just have to pay the tax. But if I have no money to pay the tax, now I have to sell the property in order to pay the tax bill.
yeah, and then pay capital gains on what I sold it for, right? So you get
Yes.
double tax at that point, right? So I mean, yeah, there's many ways around it.
Yeah.
Just that, have
Yeah.
everything.
The
Obviously, go talk to a lawyer.
Yeah, and the problem
I've had
brings up
quite a
a
bit of
good point
whiskey.
here, whereas like obviously if you have multiple people on the ownership, if there is any issues that arise legally, then everyone that is on the ownership is now potentially at risk. So maybe don't do it from day one, but like if you're starting to get on in years, maybe it's a good time to figure out how to get your
Yeah.
kids on there. But
And obviously maybe don't do that if AI
yeah,
footage from the cops is going to
yeah,
register
yeah.
everybody's face.
But these are
You
all
know, you
things that
don't
you can
need,
do and talk to like people, like especially if you own a business and property and a bunch of stuff. A family trust is a good way to mitigate a lot of this and reduce the taxes as much as possible.
yep,
Unfortunately, the only two things in life that are guaranteed are death and taxes.
yep,
And when you die, there will be a bunch of taxes that need to be paid by
yeah,
somebody.
yep,
So talk to your lawyers and set up things
yeah.
to help
Lawyers,
as much as you
accountants,
can. Yeah.
this, that. Many people that are way smarter than me and Gavin.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, they will ask you for money before they give you that insight, which I
Oh,
also have an issue with.
absolutely. They always
But
do.
yeah, yeah, this is none of
Yeah.
this was 100% factual financial advice.
Yeah,
Just
but
if
just
there are
stuff
ways, go
to
talk to someone.
yeah, it's to meant to get the ball rolling, to get you thinking
Yeah,
about some of this stuff
yeah,
because it will potentially impact you at some point down
yeah,
the road because
absolutely.
we
Right.
all die
And
except for me. I plan to live forever.
um, I don't know if I could live forever. I with the way the liberals are going, I think
I would like
I
to outlast them, so I will live at least a day longer than they do. That is my plan, just so that I can pee on their graves.
I'll just go pee on them while they're still alive.
Yeah. Speaking of owning things,
Oh,
Ontario Premier Doug Ford agrees to sell his $21 million private jet.
oh,
So Dougie, who was once our guy for a very brief moment in time, like for the first 2 or 3 weeks of his first
yeah,
term, and then
yeah.
immediately became a sellout. Sorry, a liberal. Bought a jet with our money.
uh, Our money.
Yeah, he used tax dollars. So he purchased a private pre-owned jet for 28.9 million,
Million.
but also 21 million. So I'm guessing like Canadian 28.9 million here.
Yeah, and then US 21 million, and
Yeah, and
then
then
15.5
15.5 million pounds.
million
Yeah.
pounds. Right. And I was like, oh, why does that say? Oh, it's from the BBC.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
now
again,
makes
like
sense.
we're not reporting on a lot of
Yeah.
stuff or like it's just not coming out as quickly. But apparently some people when they found out about this got a little annoyed.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah.
Apparently he was supposed to be using it for official travel, including to the US to advocate against the Trump administration's tariffs. But after confirming the purchase on Friday, he got in trouble from political opponents who called it the gravy plane in reference to his brother's gravy train that he was, exposing when he was mayor of Toronto.
Yeah.
So, announced on Friday that he was buying it, and now on Sunday, he said that it will be sold as quickly as possible. And despite
So,
his best intentions, he has heard and agrees that now is not the right time for the expense of a government plane.
okay, but also, so we bought the jet for 28.9 million, and then in quotations it says 21 million and 15.5 million pounds. So,
Yeah,
so
what's it going to be
28.
sold for?
So there's a C in front of the 28.9 million.
Yeah.
So we're selling it for 21. So are we selling it for exactly what we paid? Or
Is there going to
are
be like
we
it's like when you buy a new
like,
car and you literally just
yeah,
like drive it off
lose
the lot.
30% of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you lose 30% of it, right? Because it's been registered to you. So
Yeah.
in how I'm seeing like the first introduction, where it says like pre-owned C 28.9 and then in quotations 21 million. So like are we agrees to sell 21 million
Well,
dollar
I think
jet?
I think that's
So
just the American dollar value. So those are all
yeah,
equivalencies. But like we should be selling it for 28.9 million at
Canadian.
least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should not lose.
Yeah, we should not like you should just like I never actually did anything with this and have not taken possession of it yet. Here's my, you buy it from this for me.
Yeah, like right, and
Yeah. And it would be one of those things
I,
like I don't necessarily disagree with our provincial government owning an airplane for the travel of people in the provincial government to
yeah,
travel to do the
but
things in their thing. But now is not the time. Like if we had
also
already had one, using it would have been fine. But like when people are struggling, as we said, you don't go and do 28 trips in a year and spend 20 grand on food and drink,
yeah, or just
even as the
drinks.
prime minister.
Yeah, but
Yet here
also
you now
like,
have this guy trying to like do the
is
same
it
thing.
is it just me or does that seem steep for a jet? Like I'm not a plane guy.
I
I
have no
know
idea.
Ian's not here. Like
I no idea
like
whether
it
that's a good deal, a bad deal. Like, well, I don't know what a plane costs. I don't even know what kind of a plane this is.
right
Like,
like
it's obviously not like a prop plane Cessna two-seater deal. I mean, it looks
no like
so it's a Bombardier Challenger 650 is what he bought. What that
right
means to
so
me, I don't know. I don't see
no
like a snowmobile track on this, so I'm not sure how it's a Bombardier. I
yeah
have no idea.
right
But
and it doesn't look like the English is half the
yeah,
size of the French, so I don't know if it's officially
yeah,
from Quebec. So I to start with, I don't know if that's a good deal. I mean, if that's how much a private plane costs, like okay, does that come with like maintenance, storage
oh,
fees? Is that like is
fuck
that
no,
just the
that's all
like
on top of that, right?
right? So it's just like I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
one of
don't know.
those like, do we like have enough people flying around the province and to other provinces that like it would be cheaper for us to own a plane and do our own maintenance? If so,
Like
then yes, we
yeah,
should
but
have
all
one. But
yeah, but
maybe
all
again, now is not the right time while like the grocery things
yeah,
are going out of control and
right.
like,
And there's obviously companies out there that own jets and will like
yeah,
do private things where just like
yeah.
you can, call this number and just like you do an Uber, like, hey, I want
Yeah,
to go
there's a
to
lot of
DC.
companies that do that where like they
Yeah,
use their private jet enough to
as
justify it, but it still sits there a lot of the time, which is not
yeah,
good either. So they will rent it to other companies that need a private jet, like because it's still cheaper
for
than
yeah,
flying commercial, but they
or
don't
it's
have
way
enough to
more convenient.
justify it enough to
Yeah,
buy their own, right? Like
yeah.
it's
So it's like
smarter to rent the whole plane for a week rather than
yeah,
to
or
buy out every seat from an airline, right?
yeah,
But
right.
yeah,
And so like like, hey, can we get someone to look at that cost adjustment of being like, hey, on average over the last 10 years, we have used it 10, 20 times, right?
yeah,
At a week long, this, that. Cost of buying would be this, cost of renting would be this. So over the span of 10 years, we would save, but okay, well, maybe right now is not the time to buy. Like, how about we wait till we get into the positives of a budget?
yeah.
Like, let's just start there.
Start setting money aside for it and show
Yeah.
like that this makes sense because in the long run it'll save us money because you have X number of people flying and it's costing us X amount of dollars a year and that over a
Well,
period of, 10 or 20 years, whatever the lifespan of this airplane has left, it will reduce the cost by like show a business plan to make
yeah.
sense to justify it, and then people will be more likely to be on board with it.
I vote they all drive there on electric vehicles.
Yeah, they push for that bullshit, then they should do that.
Hmm.
I am good with that. And if it fucking breaks down in the middle of nowhere and runs out of electricity, fuck them.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Like you deal there,
Yeah.
and no, you don't get overtime for this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm absolutely 100% on board with them using EVs for it.
Yeah.
Because
Or
it
an
was
electric
forced
plane.
upon us.
Let's uh
Yeah,
let's let's see them test that technology out.
yeah. At 1,000 feet, above sea level, it'll go 3,000 miles.
Yeah,
Might not at 18,000, but we'll let them figure that out
whatever. If
for
it
us.
runs out of electricity, that's fine. It just becomes a really expensive glider.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's everything we've got for this evening.
Yep.
So when you're not on the show, this show, where can people find you, Pierre?
Um, when we get back to it again, the other CPP on Sunday nights at 9, Book of Face, Use Tubes, Canadian Prepper podcast. Um, I am on the Discord. I just don't do much on it. Um, Off the wall customizing at Gmail. You can get the best quality, most inappropriate stuff printed on a t-shirt, laser engraved in a cup, or you can find my wife's new endeavor with the gay sparkly cups that your wife will probably love. Um,
There you go.
and you can find me here. Other than that, um, you need to do a lot of work and talk to the cops that have the AI recommendation stuff, and you might be able to figure out where I am.
Perfect. You can find me here very, very infrequently on the other CPP, only when a topic tickles my autism.
Yep.
Friday, you can find me in front of the Cambridge City Hall for the CCFR rally in the Waterloo region. Other than that, you can find me on Instagram, Urbex GTA, or I'll be there for at least one day. Um, but my good friends at True North Tradecraft and Delta 2
Ooh.
Alpha are
Ooh.
having their cowboy karate class in Toronto here, May 9th and 10th.
I don't know if I have the boots for it.
It's okay. I don't think you actually have to wear cowboy boots.
Oh, do I have to have the hat?
I mean, you can if you want to. I have a spare if you want. But no, I think you just have to show up and you will learn cowboy karate. You might need the belt buckle though.
Oh, I've got lots of belt buckles. I
Well,
used to
there you
wear those
go.
studded belts when I was in high school, and I still have a bin full of Def Leppard, Marilyn Manson, Dropkick
Nice.
Murphys, like all the ones. Like, yeah,
Nice. Solid.
yeah, yeah,
Well, there you go. I will be there. It's coming up. If you want to learn some cool self-defense stuff, check that out. If you're in the area, I'll be there hanging out at least on the Saturday probably. I think I've got something on the Sunday, which is why I can't be there. But apologies to Rod. Rod is getting ready for the CCFR AGM that is also coming up in May. If
nice,
you don't have the thing already, there is a banquet dinner. I will be at the banquet dinner as well.
nice.
Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the actual AGM because I'll be up shooting guns earlier in the day. So at least I'm doing something gun related, but that's some stuff coming up. But that's why Rod's not here. He's prepping his speeches and all of that stuff. You know, he's got to practice in front of the mirror a bunch of times and all that.
Yeah,
Just like get it fucking
I get it.
yeah.
I get nervous before the show as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna like and like just getting that mental energy to picture like a whole room of people naked takes some time,
Yeah.
right? So he's working on that right now. That's why he's not on right now, but like we'll work on it. Maybe, immediately
Maybe after.
following all of that, like we'll
Yeah.
try to get him on the show because like he'll have some free time then,
Yeah.
hopefully.
And he'll be more comfortable
Yeah,
assessing all the YouTube listeners naked.
well, exactly, right? I mean, you guys could also like turn your cameras on and we could just see you. Don't absolutely do not do that unless you're cute. But I would like to remind you all that you are a small fringe minority